Get started, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Nation Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm very vocal. If you want to share your thoughts at some point this morning, you can do so at 513-873-7134. That is my number. And coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes, we're scheduled to be joined by a comedic legend. I'm talking about legendary status, who'll be performing at the Ludlow Garage this weekend. Ludlow Garage, that's their website. You can go check it out this morning to get details for tickets and upcoming events. Yeah, a legend. Tommy Davidson later on in the show. Now, along the way, here's what I want to focus on because it is a Friday, because there's a lot of things to talk about. I want to focus on what has happened within the last 24 hours, right? This show is super relevant. Show to show, flow to flow. And I also want to go back and just maybe highlight three things that we discussed this week, or maybe one of them is one thing we did not discuss, but I want to make sure we highlight before we go into the weekend. It's going to be a big weekend here in Cincinnati. You got the big chicken wing eating festival. I'm still, black folks, I don't know how we reconcile this. I brought this up yesterday. Nobody said a word. Are you going down? Is that what's a woke black person to do that loves chicken wings? Yeah, say don't do everything in front of white folks. Are you going down this weekend? We may get into that. That's a lesser topic. We may get into that. All right. Hopefully you're having a great morning wherever you might be. Again, if I see further, it's only because I stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before me. That's it. Good morning to you choppers. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. What's going on? One thing I want to do is look back on, again, I got a chance to go to Gabe Davis, and he had his kickoff early this week. And then remember, we had a great flow from Donyetta Bailey. She dropped hot dimes 2 days back. And I want to make sure we highlight that because I thought it was some really, really great points that were made. I don't want to forget them. I don't want to forget them. Broadway Flow writes, this fool Malik Yoba went to the root as a straight black man for help against the LGBTQ. That's like a Democrat getting help from Fox News. Dummy. Anyway, good morning to Nathan, the alt middle, and a few of the choppers. Alt middle Ayatollahs. I almost said Ayatollahs. Ayatollahs, stand up. Well, I'll give you an A for creativity this morning, Broadway Flow. Yeah, Malik Yoba, there's a new audio clip out of him going off at the root. because they was that stop asking me questions about the transgender stuff. As if for a short time, Malik, come on, man, he knows how this goes. For a short time, those are the only questions you're gonna get. Those are the only questions you're gonna get. That's it. That's all anybody wants to know when it comes to Malik Yoba. It's a damn shame. It really is. It really is. I was just recording a podcast episode last night, and Malik Yoba came up near the end. And I'm a dude that grew up watching, all those 90s television shows, including New York Undercover, which was super dope. Back before the world, it really didn't know how to use this hip hop thing. What is this hip hop thing? Back when Malik Yoba was cool and straight. Now we don't know what the hell he is. I don't know. Don't really matter to me. I still think he's a pretty dope actor. Like the next time he's in something, depends on what it is. I mean, I won't really be thinking about, him and his trans attraction or whatever. But I did get a chance to hear the audio. He was very upset. And what's so funny is because Malik prides himself. I only say this from afar, just watching a bunch of videos, right? He prides himself on being like calm. I've even heard him use the term like Buddhist, monk. He's into meditation. And now he's yelling at people at the root. Stop asking me them damn questions about the transgender or something. They were asking me about something. And basically it was like a bait and switch. That's what I got from it. They had sat down the day before and they all agreed on what they were going to talk about. See, this is how they do you in the media. They sat down the day before. This is what I'm picking up. They sat down the day before because that's what he said in the clip. Malik Yoba just goes off at the root staff. We talked about this yesterday. We planned this interview. Now you're bringing stuff up you're not supposed to. And dude was like, yeah, we are. Roll tape. Because again, it's cutthroat out there in the media world. From the root standpoint, it's like, look, we have to ask these questions, man. We don't want to talk about your next dramatic appearance until we talk about this trans stuff. He's just going to have to go through it. But on the other hand, you want to have integrity. You want to give people your word. I just like to keep it rizzle. I've told people, and I think I've lost interviews. Like, nah, I can't. What's the point of doing the interview if you don't want to answer these questions? No problem. It's all good. I'll catch you next time. But see, if you're the root, it works for you either way. Either you get a nice, cool, conversation with Malik Yoba and he answers all the trans questions and it satisfies you and your audience, or he blows up like he did. And he gives you one of those moments like the Breakfast Club had with, what's his name? Birdman. That was a Birdman moment. Although Birdman was like 9, this was like 3, 4. I sensed a little R. Kelly in his voice when he was pleading with them. This is my life. Just a little bit there. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. 513-873-7134. Now, we talked about this impeachment thing. This morning, I'm reading that the nation is split when it comes to impeachment. Half the nation, half of the people that were polled, not the nation, but the people that were in the poll, responded that they're all for impeachment. And then the other half responded that they're not for impeachment. They're not for impeachment. And the Republicans are reading it like, well, people don't like Trump, but they also don't want him impeached. I don't know if that's what it is. I think it's that people are they realize this impeachment shit, excuse my language, sorry, damn it. We don't start cursing on the show until 9:30. And I'm the number one man who keeps breaking the rules. Forgive me anyway. So the Republicans are running around like, oh, well, people don't like Trump, but they don't really want him to be impeached. I'm not sure if that's what's going on. I think that people, rightly so, can see this impeachment thing is nothing but a waste of time and BS. I'll say it again. This ends up, if it follows, the hypothetical and theoretical lines that we all say is supposed to, as drawn out in recent history in the Constitution, it's going to end up in the laps of the largely white male Republicans that dominate the U.S. Senate. Case closed. Case closed. If they turn their back on, Trump dealing with the Russians, being all cool with the Russians, do you think they're going to be upset because he was talking to the Ukrainians? Waste of time. And that's why people are responding to it. I think that, and one of the choppers said it this week, I want to illustrate it again. I think what the Democrats should focus on is putting out a good candidate, coming up with good policy, coming up with agendas, policy initiatives that people care about. That's what should happen. But This is the big game of politics, and if they can get some dirt on Trump right before the election, it could have an impact on the election itself, and blah blah blah, and bleep 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 bleep. We get it, we get it. But for folks that's worried about that kitchen table stuff, man, you sitting back like, here we go with this game again. That's all it is, game of theater, and nobody really wants to watch all that. So again, remember the Democrats build a better candidate, right? Not a better scandal. Trump lives for this stuff, man. Trump is like Rambo the scandal. Trump don't care about scandals. He don't, like I told you, I can't imagine he's that really concerned about being impeached. What does that mean? He might have to leave the White House 6 months before he may be elected out of the White House. Oh man, damn. What is he losing? He'll become a martyr of the right wing. If you impeach Donald Trump, you're going to energize the right wing. You want to get these radicals radicalized? That's going to radicalize the hell out of them. Oh, the Obama agents, sleeper agents. Oh, they're trying to get our dear brother Trump. Good old boys, the so-called patriots, the militias, all these guys, man. They're going to be super mad at the Democrats. They're going to be mad at black people. They're going to be mad at you black folks. They're going to be mad at the LGBTQ. They're going to be mad at Dave Chappelle. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Listen, do me a favor and share this. Tag 3 people with today's post so, we can help to grow the overall audience. I really appreciate it. I'll give out the number. Again, I'm expecting a phone call from Tommy Davidson, and I do have questions prepared to ask Mr. Davidson. And if you have any questions, you can please share them, perhaps as the conversation gets started. I anticipate we'll talk maybe 5-10 minutes. We'll see. And primarily I want people to know that he'll be in town and, where you can see him. That's it. What's on your mind? I know, right, Amber Geiger. Now, I haven't gone super hard at Amber Geiger for a bunch of different reasons. But this last night, I was looking at some of the testimony, and there was a black male neighbor of Botham Jean who just broke down on the witness stand. You see this, brother? He just broke down. He was inconsolable. And they showed his family. Just a terrible situation right there. It really is. It really is, man. I hope she goes to jail for a very long time. That's what I hope. Did you see the now viral video of a white woman? This almost becomes obligatory once a week, right? Like once a week, we have to have a scene of somebody, white, male or female, wilding out on some racist stuff in public. So in this video, you see a woman just going off, right? She's like, nigga, she's just using the N-word over and over and over again. And have you seen this video? Listen, we will discuss. We will discuss this morning. We got to get into it. But first, like I said, I'm expecting a phone call from a living legend this morning, and we may have him on the line. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, living legend?
Living legend.
Wow. I didn't know Michael Jordan was calling you guys this morning.
I was speaking to myself, man. I'm narcissistic like that. Tommy Davidson, how you doing, sir?
Things are good, man. How's things going?
For me personally and the family, very, very good, man. Around the world, lots to talk about.
Same here. Same here, man. Same here.
Let's get to it first before we talk about anything else. You're going to be in town this weekend. Tell people when, where, and how they can see you.
You know what? I thought you had the name of the venue. I keep forgetting. It's the Ludlow.
Yeah, I got it. It's the Ludlow Garage. It's the Ludlow Garage series. Yeah.
How is that place?
I haven't been there since they've done the remodeling, but I've heard good things.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a good thing. I think we're gonna, Cincy, I love to go there. They got a comedy club, but finally, this is gonna be more like a concert. You know what I mean? It's gonna be, no other comics, me doing my damn thing.
No other comics, no warm up, just you.
Well, not names that I know.
Okay, I see.
Maybe you know.
Some local cats? Maybe.
Yeah.
I might.
I'm looking forward to it though.
What time you hit the stage?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, and the thing I love about this time coming to Cincy, it ain't cold, I think.
Right, you're coming in at a good time. It's gonna be like 85 over the weekend.
Okay. Don't tell me no bad news.
Yeah, that won't be bad. Now, are you here one night, Saturday, or is it Saturday and Sunday?
No, it's just Saturday. Just Saturday.
It's Saturday, just in and out. Okay, 8 p.m. And you can go to 3ws.ludlowgarage.com and check it out and get tickets and information. So
Definitely.
are you? So what kind of material are you doing? This is new stuff, classic stuff,
Um, you know what?
impersonations.
I can't tell because I just go off the top of the head usually. You know, I talk about you know Trump. Of course, I talk about Trump, but I mostly talk about Obama. I miss Obama. Don't you miss him?
Compared to what we got, hell yeah.
Ah man, Donald Trump reminds me of it, the clown. You know,
The horror, yeah,
you,
yeah. The horror series.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it looked like a clown, but it ain't. There's something wrong with Trump.
How did we get here, man?
Man, I don't know. I was gone. I did a show called Vacation Creation. I was gone for 3 years. I came back to the country. It was like coming back to another. It's like coming back to another dimension in time. I mean, little girl got run over by a car. The Klan was marching. It was like it went back to the '60s. It's going down. You know.
So what are you sensing from the people though? I'm kind of sensing that there may be like a new moon rising. That especially with the
Um,
younger set, they're sick and tired of this nonsense, and they're trying to do something different.
yeah, they're not playing. It concerns me because these fools might hit the street. You know what they're doing to each other. So imagine if they turn on the government. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going down.
So you never been shy about putting politics in your comedy, huh?
Um, you know what? I'm not real a real political dude, but I will point out, what I see. You know what I mean? And I see us living in our phones. You know, and we got to live out here. We got to live our lives out here and not in the phone. Social media is getting to the point where it's like the bathroom stall. You know what I mean? Anybody can write something, and everybody got to read it. You know, with those comments, how many opinions do I need of somebody sitting on the couch somewhere in Kansas City that's gonna count? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, does social media help the game though? The entertainment
Well,
game, being a comic?
I mean, it helps promote it. It helps promote. If you need promotion, or yeah, social media is going to help in that way. But I'm just talking about your own personal life. I'm talking about time spent. Time spent doing what you need to do on the come up, or Snapchatting.
I'm speaking with Tommy Davidson. He'll be in town tomorrow at the Ludlow Garage, and they're doing big things over there. You can go to their website, 3ws.ludlowgarage.com, and get ticket information. So, are you always like on the hunt for material? Is that what it's like for you
Yeah.
as a creative? It's like it never turns off.
Well, you know what? It just comes out. You know, all I got to do is be in the world long enough, and something's gonna come out of it. That's all I got to do. It's like my material. I don't have a writer. A lot of comics got like 16, 17, 18, 19 billion writers. I've never had a writer from the very start. You know, I just go off of my experience, and I've been fortunate. Been in the game for 30 years and still rolling.
So, I mean, so what do you think about these dudes that's getting big fame and they got all these different writers? Is that pure to you? Or is that like a ghostwriting rapper?
Nah, nah, nah. Everybody got their own thing. Everybody got their own thing. I've never been one to judge. People entitled to come up and do what they do. You know, it's like Tribe Called Quest. Getting mad at Drake. You know what I mean? It's no use. There's different mindsets. My mindset is mine. That's all.
I feel you. I feel you. Tommy Davis and everybody. I'm from that In Living Color era, man. Take me back to those days. What was it like?
I like you. I like how you think. I like how you think. It was. You're right. You're right. We had it all. Now, somebody can sit on the toilet with a pair of nunchucks and say a poem, get a million hits, and then get a TV deal. It's crazy. It's a totally different world we living
Yeah, it's that social media, it's that internet. It's all about it.
in. Yeah. And so, one of the things I've decided to do is, I put the phone down. You know, I start just living. There's a lot of stuff to do out there. There's a lot of real estate to check out. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of traveling to do worldwide. There's a lot of jobs that you can have and things that you can do. A lot of creating you can do. So, I just saw that it gave me my time back. It gave me my time back. But it's hard not to look in there though because there's a lot of good things in there, a lot of information.
So you
So,
said you said 30 years in the game, right? So I'm
hmm
thinking 30. That's the 30 years in Hollywood.
oh
That's
yeah,
safe to say. So
uh huh.
who runs Hollywood? You know, we always hearing from people talking about who runs that, who runs this. Who
hmm
really runs Hollywood? How does it work?
Well,
Especially for
you
black
know,
folks.
it's it's just like any other job. There's black folks there that are for you, and black folks there that ain't. You know, we live in a society that we built, but we don't get a piece of it. You know what I mean? Hollywood was here before we got there. You know, but Hollywood needs talent. Hollywood needs skills, and it's more than obvious that we got them. You know, so Hollywood's always been its own system, but hey, we generate that money. We generate what it is that's happening. You know.
Would it ever be possible to like recreate, or maybe it's already there with like what Tyler Perry's doing, like a black Hollywood? You know, I've read about black Hollywood back in the days, the idea of black folks owning and producing and doing their own thing. Is that
I
possible?
think it's happening.
Really where?
I think it's happening. I think it's happening. It's happening all over. There's a lot of independent producers. There's a lot of people doing their own thing. What when you talk about black, you're talking about a whole society that's in a rebuild. You know, we're in a rebuild state, but we're doing very, very well. I'm not one of those people that's like a pessimist about us. I think we're doing about as best as we ever have, and we'll keep on going. You got to remember something. We ran the free world for 8 years. Okay, the commander in chief for 8 years of the most powerful country in the world and did it nice, did it real nice. So we can't forget that. This is the person that came to this country not having nothing. Am I wrong?
True that.
Uh huh. So I'm feeling good about us. I'm feeling optimistic. They've been throwing shade on us from the very beginning. But we've taken straw and spit it into gold, and we're always going to do that. You know, Cincy is one of the cities I love to go to because the people there ain't no. You get what you you get exactly what you see is what you get. There ain't it ain't cut with nothing. That's what I love about it. The people are straight up.
Yeah. There's some about that. There's some of them people there. There's some of them people there. So you in and out, Tommy. You in and out on the celebrity status. I'm here 24/7, so I got a different perspective. But let me mix in a few questions from the audience. Someone wants to
Okay.
know, what do you think about the state of black comedy and the hashtag mute movement around Dave Chappelle?
Oh man, people. Dave Chappelle's comedy has to do with talking about things that are controversial. So you know, just laugh at what you like. What you don't like, don't laugh at. Keep it moving. He's one among millions. You know what I mean?
I mean, as a comic, how do you look at that? I mean, is it a competition thing? Is it kind of like a friendly competition thing? Like, as a comic, do you sit back and think like, okay, I see these guys is really doing this. I want to try to move in the same direction. You ever thought like that?
Nah, because it's not like it's a team sport. You know, Comedy is more like you know it's just you. You know, Two comics can't stay on the stage at the same time unless they're the same act. So you got to remember that hour you have. That's all yours to influence your audience any way you want. I never want to be in a situation, or I never want us to be in a situation like rappers. You know what I mean? Where there's something called beef. And beef is just you know hating somebody else because they're successful. You know what I mean? And then all of that starts coming tumbling down because a big battle ensues, like as if there ain't enough for everybody. It's just an illusion.
Somebody wants to know, are you invested in the legal weed game? I don't know where that's coming from.
You know where that's coming from. That's all out there. Nah, I pass. It's plenty of people out there that can make money and get down like that. I keep it moving.
Somebody wants to know, are you Team Monique or Team Steve Harvey?
I'm neither. I'm Team Black. The one thing, as long as there's one team on one side and the other team on another side, never gonna be the same team. So you know, I'm Team Africa.
I like that. Well, listen, Tommy, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And everybody can check you out. You'll be over at the Ludlow Garage on
Uh huh.
Saturday, 8 p.m. is the start. And you can check out Tommy Davidson. You can go to their website, 3ws.ludlowgarage.com, and get ticket information. Hey, Tommy, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
Hey man, thank you. Thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely. Take it easy.
You
That's
too.
Tommy Davidson, living legend, everybody, in the house. He'll be in town tomorrow. Good morning. 513-873-7134. Man, I missed that fame. I would have asked him. Would have asked him. Get in quicker, man. Damn. And I'll reach out to Tommy directly and get some idea about some tickets for you, some free tickets perhaps. Ray writes, good morning, all. Mr. Avery writes, good morning. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. CJ writes, good morning, all. Ray writes, I said, absolutely not. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate. Ray writes, Gilligan's of the week, the girls that cut Lil Keisha's hair. Natural hair rocks. I agree with you. Tommy said, I'm Team Black. I just knew he was going to give an answer like that. And no doubt about that. Let me see here. What do you think, folks? That's Tommy Davidson. He seemed like he was chilling. Tracy writes, good morning, celebrating 20 years of marriage this weekend, 9/29/99. Well, you know what? Congratulations, Tracy. 20 years? It sounds like a lot, but I'm right with you. That is beautiful. And in the month of September, even better, the month of Virgos. That is beautiful. What's the plans? Y'all heading out? Weekend, just y'all? What's going on? Of course, none of my business. I understand if you don't want to share. That is big. I love it. Black love. Hashtag Black love. Beautiful. Broadway Flow writes, congrats. I mean, 20 years, we say it's so easy, but telling you, 20 years, that's a whole lot of living together. I look at my wife sometime, and I mean, it's like she is as familiar to me as my arm because I see her as much. Right? She's like a part of me, like a part of my body. Because I've been with her. I've known that woman since 90, maybe four. I've known her since 94. Think about it. Do the numbers, run the numbers. Get your calculator out. A long time. 20 years? That is a big milestone. What is the secret? Tracy, what is the secret? Please share. 20 years. Now, if my system was in place where you can get married for 5-year terms and then re-up if you decide to, you would be on your 4th cycle right now. Your 4th 5-year term marriage. Right now, you'd be renegotiating things for the next 5 years to decide whether you want to stay together or not. I'm just putting it out there. Broadway Flow writes, Nathan, better stop talking about not impeaching. They're going to call you a Trump lover, really? That's why the country is split, because half the country is like, yeah, go get him. And the other half is like, haven't we seen this movie before? Did you know, what makes you think, listen, the Republicans wanted to get Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh was a man who was accused of sexually assaulting a woman. The woman came before the Senate. The same people, we already know how the Senate works. You remember with the SNL, they did the whole parody and the skit of the Senate with the Brett Kavanaugh Supreme Court Justice hearings. Remember that? Remember how the Senate, those white males in the Senate were acting? Do you think it's going to be any different if Trump is up for impeachment? I don't see it happening. I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening. And I don't. What evidence do we have that that's what's going to happen? What evidence do we have that, the Republicans are going to say, oh man, this Ukraine stuff is American. We're going to have to put a stop to this. That's not what's going to happen. They're going to roll with Trump as long as they can, all the way out. Period. They got the Republican Party has a long-term agenda, not year to year. But we'll see, though. You know how it is. They say if you do the crime, you should do the time, right? So I guess that applies to the elites as well. But remember Brett Kavanaugh? They wanted Brett Kavanaugh, and they got Brett Kavanaugh. It wouldn't have mattered what that woman said. She could have had a grainy video, and they would have said, "Oh, don't look like Brett Kavanaugh." You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have mattered what, because that's what they wanted. They would bend time, suspend common sense, suspend gravity, walk through a wormhole. You know what I'm saying? Jump into a black hole. They'll do whatever it takes to arrive at the conclusion that they want, whether it makes sense or not. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, they're going to say, oh, he was trying to collude with a foreign power. Well, he already was doing that with the Russians. So the Democrats, man, I just feel like, part of me feels like it's been waiting to try to get something on Trump. And they've invested so much in Mueller and all the talk and just this expectation that Trump's going to be impeached because, he's doing criminal stuff, that they just had to do impeachment. That's how it kind of feels to me, if I had to be honest with you. So we just have to do this because this is what we're supposed to do, right? We'll see. We'll see if it's a good strategy. I say invest in a better candidate, invest in an agenda that people care about. That's how you win in 2020. That's how you win over the people. That's how you're going to win over the people, because the process to that, remember what happened, man. We did this. Remember what happened when the Republicans went after Clinton? They lost 5 seats right after that congressionally because there was like a backlash, almost like a resentment from the electorate because the Democrats had pushed this investigation. The Republicans had pushed an investigation, and it put the country on gridlock. It was just a bad look for the America, right, for the society. And now here we go again. And now the Democrats are pushing it. There is a video of Jerry Nadler, who, as I understand it, is the House Majority Leader. And or he is a ranking member in the House Democrats. He's the chair of something or other that's very, very important. That's escaping me right now. One of the committees. I didn't know, he used to have a lot of weight on him back in the day, because he's out there like during the Clinton administration talking about how impeachment's bad for the country, and the Republicans are running with this 24/7. That's what they do. They'll go back in the crates. Like a DJ will go back in the crates and get like that gem. They'll go back into the crates, air quotes, so to speak, and find some little embarrassing video, some town hall meeting, something that happened that completely contradicts the stance that Democrats are taking right now. And that's what they're doing with Jerry Nadler. So we shall see. Do I think that Trump's an honest, upstanding guy? No. But that's why I didn't vote for him, and that's why I voted in the election against him. So it is what it is. The Democrats effed up when instead of having a democratic process, they got in bed with Hillary Clinton. That's where they effed up. And they let the process play out naturally and allow the Democrats to make their own decisions, the electorate to make their own decision with as much information as possible, then this issue might not have happened. Maybe Bernie would have won. The polls said that Bernie was the better candidate against Trump anyway, but no. The Democrats had to have Hillary. Remember this? They just had to have Hillary. Hillary was not a good candidate. Everybody knew it in the whole world. But I guess the Democrats felt like they owed her one. So, we're going to rig the primary to make sure we make sure you win. And when that information was revealed to the public via the Russians, it really put a damper on everything. It evened the playing field. It was kind of like, well, damn, you trying to say the Republicans are corrupt? Y'all corrupt. It was a bad look. All right, let's go to the phones here. We got Drop on the line. Let's see what's going on in the mind of Drop. What's up, Drop? Good morning. Yo, Drop,
Hello.
good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, Mr. Ivy, I'm gonna piss. I'm gonna upset a lot of your fans and listeners because I
Uh-oh.
agree with you 100% this morning on your impeach 45 monologue, Mr. Ivy. I don't know if it's been my influence over the last year and a half, but you are spot on 100%, sir, with your analysis. And here is the plus. Your analysis is fair, even though there is some bias, but it is fair. And Mr. Ivy, did you see any of the Senate judiciary hearings yesterday with the the head of the spy agency yesterday
No, I
when
did not.
the chairman Adam Schiff. Now, Nate, this was broadcast on all the networks, okay, not just cable, like Nancy Pelosi's fake announcement 2 days ago. So, Mr. Ivy, he gets on there, right? His opening statement. He is the chairman of this Judiciary Committee in the Senate. And this man, he took the transcript of the phone call with President Trump and the president of Ukraine. And everybody has seen the transcript, okay? It's already in the public. So this guy gets on there, Nate, and he reads between the lines, so to speak. But there's a lot of Americans that haven't read it. So he makes up stuff, Nate, like he's reading a script from an episode of The Sopranos. Mr. Ivy, find that clip. I mean, I was posting it yesterday all over Twitter, but he got called on it, Nate. One of the other senators, after Adam Schiff finished his fake ass analysis of the phone call, another senator called him on it. Then he has no choice. He says, "Oh, it was just a parody," and everybody's like, "This dude, this was on national TV. We just had the whole Russian collusion, fake, all this stuff, and you get up there and lie in front of the American people." So, Mr. Ivy, it's Friday, and surprisingly, there's a new poll out this
What did he
morning.
lie about? What did Adam Schiff lie about again?
Nate, you have to play the tape for the people. The tape is out there. It's everywhere. Okay, what he did, right, because the transcript, these phone calls between foreign powers are not recorded, Nate. Okay, they have people that obviously everything in the White House is monitored. You have people who sit in on the call, and these are CIA people, NSA, whatever you want to call them, intelligence people, and they all take notes, and then these notes are combined because this never happens, Nate. This is unprecedented what this whistleblower did, and the whistleblower wasn't even one of the people that was in on the call. He did his whistleblowing through second, third, and I think fourth party information that he got the person who's the employee of the NSA. Okay, so Adam Schiff, when he read this transcript that was compiled from all these people that were listening, and obviously some things are classified, but there was no redaction. But if you see it, everybody knows what I'm talking about, where you have a word and then a dot, dot, dot. So what Adam Schiff did, he interpreted by his own creative speaking what Trump was saying, but he didn't say. And I'm saying, Nate, that's why I agree with your monologue 100%. Most American people, especially the people who keep up with this, it's like, here we go again. And then, like I said, Nate, a new political poll comes out, surprisingly, and it shows the split, just like you said. But the mainstream willing accomplice of the Democrat Party, fake news media, they want to highlight the fact that it went up a couple of points. It's irrelevant because, Nate, again, like I said, sir, that's why I mess with you, because you're fair and biased, and you see exactly what this is worth. because until the House of Representatives has an official vote in the House of Representatives, there is no impeachment. Okay? And then because they're so excited and exhausted over the possibility that the media and the Democrats and the squad finally got Trump, they go on vacation for 2 weeks, Nate. I mean, if it's that urgent, if it's so urgent what Trump did, why are they going on vacation, Mr. Ivy? Well, maybe Mr. Mason Mahler, a.k.a. the Chop Shop Overseer, maybe he'll explain it if he got some time on this TGIF Friday. But, Mr. Ivy, thank you for giving me the time to agree with you. But before I go, do you have any candidates for Gilligan of the Week?
Yeah, I do. And I know
I
there's
know the
some.
show's early.
Yes, it's a little bit early, so let's get to it in the second hour.
Okay, all right. So before I go, Mr. Ivy, again, outstanding monologue on this whole fake impeachment thing that the Democrats and the mainstream, Nate, the media seems more excited than even some Democrats. But that's another phone call. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Y'all be safe in them streets. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate it. Let's move on. He talked him up. We got Glenn from Mason on the line. Hey, good morning, Glenn. How are you?
What's going on, Nate, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm like Beetlejuice. And I just come out like, yeah. Once again, Drop, I caught you lying out your mega ass. And he said, Nate, people who follow this closely. Well, Nate, don't you think that I follow this closely?
I do.
And Nate, what Drop said is just a complete lie. First of all, the tape that he wants you to look of Adam Schiff and his testimony, Nate, it was actually just an awkward moment of somebody trying to be funny. It was a parody of the call. Now, he looked like a goofball, but Drop, don't try to insist that he used this as like official testimony of what happened on those phone calls. And Nate, as someone who actually watches this stuff closely, what Drop failed to mention is that the whistleblower got many of his evidence from those inside the White House, Nate. Have you talked about the server that they got? The quadruple secret server that they took, like what would normally be just anonymous, phone calls between heads of states that they would put in category 1. Well, Nate, they put this in category 4. Category 4 security, where the only people that have access to these phone calls and these things that they put on this, 4th level server, it's done by code word. Drop didn't mention that, Nate. Drop also didn't mention that this guy that got this from second party, Drop, and first party, not third and fourth and fifth party people inside the White House, he got that because, Nate, people inside the White House were saying, we know there's something wrong and that eventually it's going to come back on me. And Nate, that's happening right now. Yesterday we talked about how they're throwing each other on the bus. The president threw Mike Pence under the bus saying that I released the transcripts and I also released a couple of calls from Mike Pence. So the Mike Pence people are like, damn, why'd you throw me out there? Then you got Rudy Giuliani throwing the State Department under the bus saying, well, I just didn't do this by myself. I was directed by the State Department. So guess what happens now, Nate? Those people inside the State Department, now they're going to have to testify and they're going to have to get legal representation because guess what they did? It is unlawful to use a directive as a lawyer that is illegal. So now they're put on spot. Now you talked about what happened with Bill Clinton and his popularity and what happened the following year when the Democrats, Republicans made inroads into government. Well, Nate, the biggest difference between Donald Trump and Bill Clinton is that Donald Trump is no Bill Clinton. It's comparing apples to oranges. After the impeachment, Nate, Bill Clinton's ratings, I think it went up as high as 70%. Donald Trump hasn't reached 50%, even in Rasmussen, as far as job approval and popularity. So I don't think that's going to fit. That analogy is going to fit with Donald Trump. And what Drop failed to mention, Nate, and I think you need to know this because I hear you, and you're kind of on this step like I don't see nothing leading into this, or this might be a waste of time, this might be a waste of money. What happened significantly, Nate, on Wednesday was the Senate, the deliberative body that we say is just controlled by the Republicans, they voted 100 to nothing, Nate, to release the transcripts. So these are basically Republican senators saying, Donald, there are just some things that I just can't have. This whistleblower complaint is out there. Again, Nate, we talked about this. This isn't like Russia. When Robert Mueller ran in front of the Congress, we pretty much knew everything. We didn't know about this whistleblower. We didn't know about this fourth level server. We didn't know that the President of the United States was trying to solicit information from a foreign entity to affect the American election. And that alone, Nate, is a crime. Remember George Stephanopoulos' interview with Donald Trump inside the Oval Office when he asked him the question about would you take information from a foreign government to affect the American election? And Donald Trump said, well, I might. And then he says, well, the FBI director says that's a crime. And then what did Donald Trump say, Nate? Well, the FBI director is wrong. So for Drop, the alt-middle, the Ayatollahs, or whoever the hell you are, ask yourself, who do you believe? What do you say, Nate? What's in your wallet? Well, who do you believe, Donald Trump or the FBI director? Who do you believe, the whistleblower or Donald Trump? It's really that simple, Nate, and more is going to come out of this because guess what? Oh, let me rewind. Drop mentioned that he talked about the whistleblower and the testimony, and he said that they gave the full transcripts. Actually, they didn't. And you know this. What they gave was the Bill Barr version, just like the Mueller report, the Bill Barr version of a redacted transcript. Now, getting back to the point that I missed, coming up, Nate, they're going to have full testimony from this whistleblower. And they're going to do it without any redactions. They're going to get to that fourth level of security and say, we need to bring these, get all the transcripts of what actually happened that day. And that's when everything is going to break. That's why you didn't really hear a lot of Republican congressmen yesterday during the testimony of the director trying to defend him. I mean, you had the Kevin McCarthy's out there, the Devin Nunes's, which we already know they're part of the Freedom Caucus, and that's like having Drop and Diamond and Silk sitting in front of Congress. We know what the hell they're going to say.
That's funny.
So, really. So, again, Drop, as somebody who watches this very, very closely, you're full of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. You're full of ish, because I know it's not 9:30 yet. But, Nate, I had Drop, you cannot come on this damn show and in the chop shop and lie to people. I'm not going to have it. And every single time you come up with that bull-ish, I'm going to be on top of you. So you can sleep on that. You can walk while retired with your mega thong on and your mega tube socks and your mega wristbands on. But you can best believe that every single time you try to push out that crap, like you did the other day with Obama and the bailout, and you didn't mention that actually George W. Bush started the bailout, part one, and Obama finished it with part two, I'm going to call you out on it. Nate, I appreciate you taking my call. Congratulations to Tracy and her husband, Dilly. I know he's a Woodward guy, and Woodward guys, they got to have that patience to put up with your stress, Tracy. You're my girl. I love you to death. But congratulations, and Choppers, happy Friday. I'm feeling good. I got a good cup of coffee, Nate. I got paid today. They can't stop nothing can stop my fadeaway today, Nate. And I'm going to end this call like I always do. Hopefully in the end, Busters and Gilligans like Drop getting what I'm spitting. You have a good one, brother.
You too. We'll go ahead and rack them. Damn. Did you say Busters and Gilligans? You said you can't stop his fadeaway today. Drop. It's good to know we are protected by Viper. It's good to know. Drop does try to throw shit in. Excuse me. What time is it? He does try to throw stuff in. He does. He did try to bring in the bail up like, oh, it was all Obama. No. No. He said, can't stop his fadeaway today. I felt that way before. The jumper just felt like it was just sent from God. Doesn't really matter. No matter what you try to do, the jumper will not be stopped. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
When the hell are you going to let me debate Curious George?
I don't know who Curious George is.
The monkey that just got off the phone.
See, there you go, man.
Up there. I think he's a homosexual. He's talking about spitting and getting on top of men. Those are his words, not mine. Did he not just say that?
But that's your
Every
interpretation,
time
though.
you come out, drop, I'm getting on top of you. Come out, where? The shower? What's up, man? What's up, Linford? Huh? You know, I'm just saying, you know, the brother, just some of that language was suspect, but that shows you how old he is. He's out of touch with the language, the vernacular, the slang. You understand what I'm saying? And speaking of vernacular, Nathan, I got to admit this. I was almost in tears last night. I'm very disappointed in council member Jeff Pastor. For 45 days, the last 45 days, he sent out 3 tweets that have made me really seriously question, not his politics, just him as a dude. You know, he once sent out a tweet suggesting that teachers should be armed in classrooms. You know I ain't for that. 80% of the teaching field is white women. We're going to put little black boys in front of a classroom with white women and guns? White women taking out black men is just as American as cherry pie. I mean, look at Botham Jean, Susan Smith, Bill Cosby. And he wants kids to be armed? And then he said last week, said something about a 16-year-old getting shot in the head after midnight and tried to pose it as a community issue. I'm like, bruh, a 16-year-old getting shot on a school night after midnight? That ain't a community issue. That sounds like a parent issue. That's not our problem. It's a school night. Why is he out after midnight? Can't be out working, you know, because the law said he's supposed to have been out work 3 hours ago. And then yesterday, this really chapped my ass, and I'm probably going to go to council and address it with him Wednesday. He said something. He tried to put smiley faces at the end of it, but he said he was talking about the ask and axe thing. You know what I'm talking about? He said he cringes every time he's trying to say ask, but says axe. And I'm like, what are you ashamed of your natural dialect for? Why the hell would you say that? See, I hate when black people tweet stuff like that or put it on Facebook, because it'll give your white friends a free shot at taking a shot at black culture. And sure enough, who was the first person to respond to that tweet about ask and ask? That Kimberly Tidwell lady. You know, the lady who's just like, she's just having the most wonderful time in her Twitter picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You've read her, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Is that
said
a real
something
account?
about it and
Is that
said
a real
something
account?
about, yes, that's a real lady. I've seen her before.
Huh.
I've seen her with the twins before. Her and her husband.
With your own eyes?
That's a real lady.
Or you saw a photograph
In the
with
picture,
them?
yes.
Yeah, I saw a photograph too, but it looked kind of off a little bit.
I'm not going to go there. These brothers, I'm not going to go there. But what I'm saying is, you know, she started talking about the cultural thing behind it and trying to, you know, say how it bothers her. And I'm like, bruh, look what you done did. I'm tweeting back at him. He's never responded. So either he's, you know, either muted me or whatever. And since he won't respond, I'm going to have to address him Wednesday. Because, and to kind of tie this into some local news, you know, with Marty Brenneman retiring, you know, it was like a big to-do. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
You know, former Red, I'll never forget this. I was 11 years old when it happened. Chris Sabo. Remember him? He used to play wear the goggles, play third base.
I remember Sabo.
He won Rookie of the Year. But his career immediately fell off. And the guy who finished in second was like, yeah, y'all sure y'all want to recalculate that Rookie of the Year vote? That's how I'm feeling about Pastor right now. We gave you Rookie of the Year. But these last 45 days, I'm like, bruh, we need to talk. Because your rhetoric is not like I said, not as politics. I need to talk to the man. Because the stuff you're tweeting out is some sucker stuff. And I don't know if you know what you're saying, but it's very dangerous. It's very toxic. We need to have a conversation.
He may need the brothers to talk to him. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes.
Well, let me know how that goes.
Like, bruh.
Where do you?
Because I support you.
Are you going to go to
No,
council? I'm not sure if that's the right place to do it.
I don't care. He's tweeting from an official City Hall account.
Well, you said it wasn't about his politics. It's about the man. So you might want to get the man away from the politics and talk it out one day.
Well, maybe I'll go meet him then. Well, maybe he'll schedule me some office hours.
Or maybe I can reach out to Jeff. See, maybe he'll come on the show, and then we can hook you up.
Yeah.
And you guys can talk it out.
Yeah, because I need to rap with him about that, especially that first tweet. The second tweet was kind of benign, but that first one and last one, bruh, we need to have a conversation. You understand me? Also, there's this story about these 3 little black boys that like tried to break into a house and ended up getting killed, and everybody's saying, they broke into a house again late, like 4 a.m. And from if I read it right, they came in spraying and missed everybody, and the homeowner ended up killing them. A black man, the homeowner was. And, these parents, and they friends and circle, all like, oh, that was overkill. They ain't had to kill them. Shit. Oops, my bad. I apologize. But, they ain't had to kill them. But no, you breaking my house, spraying ain't no overkill. You getting what you get. And if you get killed, that's your bad luck.
Is this a recent story?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. It's a recent story. Like, it happened like last week. And now, and I guess their funerals were sometime this week. They got them in, the little picture, the obituary picture. Of course they got them in little angel-like stuff, like they're going up to heaven. I guess they are. I don't know. I'm not here to judge them like that, but I'm like, that ain't overkill. You breaking my house, you getting what you getting. You understand me? So I don't care about that point. And it had to be more than likely I hate to use the term, a good shooting, because a black man wasn't arrested for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know who did it, and he was never arrested for it.
He also killed black people.
So
he also killed some black teens. Yeah. So had he killed some white teens, they might have had to take him downtown and talk about it a little bit.
That's not necessarily true. I get what you're saying, but the reason I'll say that's not necessarily true because there's hood killings all the time where brothers do go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But speaking of Marty Brenneman, I was not participating in that love fest for him. I'm glad to see this old sucker go.
What?
Yes. I know he's a peer of yours in the broadcasting industry. He's not a peer of yours. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
He's I didn't like the way he treated King Griffey Jr. while King Griffey Jr. was here. We had King Griffey Jr. in his prime, maybe the middle of his prime, maybe the end of it, but he was still in his prime a good number of the years he was here. And Marty Brenneman's going around the clubhouse, not a player, not a coach, trainer, the announcer, going into the clubhouse, telling him he needs to be a leader, yelling, cussing. Yeah, Griffey, I was here before you, and I'll be here when you leave. I'm like, what kind of entitlement is that? How do you talk to one of the players, never been accused of steroids and on the short list of all-time great baseball players like that? How do you do that? Because you saw him growing up as a 7-year-old running through the dugout playing with his dad. And you never looked at him as a grown man. You always visioned him as that 7-year-old smiling boy in the dugout playing with his dad. You're an entitled asshole, Marty. I ain't participating in no love fest for you. You a jerk. I'm glad you gone. If I could have bought the Reds, I'd have fired you. I don't care if he's in the Hall of Fame. That's some sucker stuff. That's Ken Griffey and Barry Larkin, 2 Hall of Famers. How do you talk to these men like this? Ken Griffey Jr. is probably the best player in Reds history. And for the love of God, I want Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, but it's dead. It ain't happening. Get off his jock, Marty. He's not getting in the Hall of Fame before he dies. That's going to be his punishment. He won't be able to walk, do an induction. And they all celebrating just like they celebrated Marge Schott when she died. I mean, I know Marty didn't die, but they celebrated her. Oh, she's one of the most loved women. Everybody in the city loves her. No, the hell we don't. You don't get to call Eric Davis $1 million nigger. You don't get to talk to Dave Parker and call him $1 million nigger. We don't love you. You know me. I'm a baseball head, Nate. So that's why I'm like gassed on this. Like,
I
nah,
see.
bruh.
I
We
hear,
ain't
man. I
saluting
hear the
Marty.
passion. I hear the
Yeah, we
passion.
ain't saluting Marty.
And I did
But
see you posted
and
that on Facebook and Twitter. Like, did you get any responses? Because right now that's kind of like a sacrosanct, right? Marty Brenneman.
I'm pretty sure Trisha Mackey, when she tweeted "haters gonna hate," she was talking to me.
Oh, is that? See, Trisha Mackey I don't know who
She
charged
didn't
up
send it
Trisha
back
Mackey.
directly to me, but I'm pretty sure she was, because I included her on that tweet. A couple. None of the. I tweeted. The Glenn's daddy, Lance McAllister. I tweeted to him, Mo Egger,
That's not
Trisha,
really Glenn's father, but I
and
get you're saying. That's not really Glenn's father.
Yes, he is. He told Glenn, "Don't call my damn show." And what happened? Glenn didn't call his show. Banned him, put him on punishment like a little boy.
That's a stretch.
You understand me?
That's a stretch.
No, it's not. That's true. He gave him a whooping.
Yeah.
But to Glenn's credit, that's when hold on. To Glenn's credit, that's when I started rocking with Glenn. For me, my age, Glenn was like the George Jefferson of talk radio callers. I'd never heard a black dude talk to a white man like that. So, and I always salute Glenn. I'm just teasing him and whatnot. I always saluted that. But yeah, and that so yeah, pastor's tweets, and then it's just been a whole jacked up week. They cut that little girl's hair. I'm miffed about that. They cut that baby girl's dreads, or wherever old was she, 10 years old or whatever, a fifth grader. Yeah, they did that to them two white. It held her down. Really? This is dad trying to escape the black reality and send his kids out there to assimilate. Now he's going to go back and call his hood cousins to be like, yeah, I need y'all to handle this. Oh, no, bruh. We wasn't shit 2 months ago. Now you want me to send my son over here to whoop this girl, whoop these people that done whooped on your daughter. I'm going to do it because we blood and I love you. But remember, they don't. So I kind of blame dad for some of that. You understand me? And before I go, I just want to tell y'all, got a big fight coming up tomorrow. I don't usually do this, Nate, so if you don't mind, big fight coming up tomorrow. You can take Spence if you want to, but you're not going to make any money. He's minus $910, which means you got to put up that much money to win 100. Take Porter. He's plus 500. Porter wins, and he has a legitimate shot to do it. You put $100 on him, you'll win 500. You put $10 on him, he'll win 50 if he wins, of course, no matter how he wins. And that's all I got. I'll holler at you at the next moon, brother. Be safe. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Oh, it was a little crack. It was a little. He kind of got stronger at the end. Appreciate the call, man. I can tell, sometimes I just sit back and I let people just talk. Yes, I give you the controls. Sometimes you can just hear people got great flows. I don't agree with everything, but overall, great flows. His Jeff Pastor flows in particular interest me. I thought that was quite interesting, huh? Dang, you breaking a brother down by every damn word he puts on Facebook? Damn. He was a little bit off. Broadway Flow writes, the hate is strong in Nathan. No, it's not. Mike Jones writes, Spence definitely wins, but he might not beat the spread. Why does Fame care that the little girl got her locks cut? Thought he degrades women, right? He's a very complicated person. Tony writes, I actually got to agree with Fame on this one. I met Marty in a UDF in Anderson years ago. He really is a jerk. Well, I mean, I haven't listened to Marty Brenneman on the radio in some time. It's been a while. So I can't give you any updates, but I've heard him on the radio before. And you can tell there's a sense like an old white club, the good old guys. I mean, for you, Fame, and for others, that might not do a damn thing for you. But there's people in this city that really get something out of that. Like Marty leaving, is a big thing or something like that. For me, I haven't really thought too much about it. I've seen people saying things about Marty here or there. I wasn't affected or touched. I don't know Marty Brenneman. I don't think I can remember even meeting Marty Brenneman. But if he's an asshole, he's a jerk. That's probably because he's Marty Brenneman, and everybody's running around here kissing his ass all the time. So he gets an overinflated sense of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can imagine the way people are acting right now just because he's retiring, like, oh, don't go. Can you imagine when they meet him? Like, Marty Brenneman in certain circles is a big time celebrity. So, I guess it went to his head. I don't know. Don't know. Never spoken with the man, never had any interactions, nothing personal to pull upon. So I'll trust what you guys have to say. What he said about King Griffey Jr., though, kind of got my blood boiling a little bit. Like, what? You're right. You're going to talk to a Hall of Famer like that? Drop writes, Bunky, the cool train is filling up fast in 2019. It will be full in 2020. Hashtag Black Votes Matter. Jay-Z, Yeezy, Steve Harvey, Isaiah Washington, Bob Johnson, P. Diddy, Jeff Pastor, Smitherman. That's what's on here. Somebody's been paying attention. Tony writes, I think I read that already. Trying to catch up. Okay, let me go backwards here. Backwards in time. Robbie Flo writes, damn, son, not the rookie of the year. Was he compromised? Say it ain't so. Why did we give Jeff Pastor rookie of the year? Because he had a big house or something like that, I think it was. He got a big contract from the Republicans. Who knew that the Republican Party was giving out signing bonuses? Y'all giving out signing bonuses and shit? It's like the NFL up in this motherfucker. Houses and cars and stuff. Yeah. And so that's why he was the rookie of the year. It was neck and neck. It was Tamaya and Jeff. When Jeff got the big contract, the Choppers labeled him rookie of the year. Y'all, it's hilarious for that, man. That is funny. Pat writes, great call, Glenn. Glenn, I'm glad Glenn is here to set drop straight. Drop be out there trying to misinform us sometime. And sure, I pick it out and call it out, but it's nice to have help. Pam writes, bam, the Mason Mauler killed it. Drop writes, rack the overseer. You are hilarious. The overseer. Magnanimous King writes, with his MAGA thong on. He said MAGA thong, MAGA wristbands. What is this? MAGA socks and a MAGA belt. Boom, we matching. MAGA, 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 MAGA. 20 more minutes and weekend curse. Wake me up when the MSNBC recap is done. Oh boy. Drop is sleeping on you. I guess he was sleeping on he's probably trying to say he's sleeping on the overseer. Chop shop overseer. Can't this weekend. Next is better. Tracy, hey everybody, come in here and wish Tracy happy 20 years Black love marriage. Tracy, what is your secret? Because everybody has different secrets. What is the secret to longevity? Were human beings really meant to be together beyond 20 years? Like you put a good 20 years in on most jobs. Well, it used to be. What's it like 35 years for retirement? Yeah. Catch back in 15. Mike Jones writes, everyone knew Slick would shoot himself in the foot eventually. Speaking of President Trump. They're talking. Did Dribble Drop just say chop shop overseer? Dribble Drop. That's hilarious. Did Dribble Drop? Okay, we can work with that too. That works too. Tracy writes, Nathan, I wrote The Secret. I'm going back. Could you rewrite it again? What is The Secret again? I was looking for it. About what time did you drop the secret of the universe inside the chop shop this morning, Tracy? Please let me know. Check it out. What is your secret? 20-year marriage. People say it can't be done. Bunky writes, I told y'all about Pastor X. Dude, it's scat. Pastor X, I'll never forget. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. The chop shop, and I think it was, I'm not sure who it was. I won't take credit. Let that person step forward and be duly recognized for your significant contributions to our culture. But somebody labeled Jeff Pastor Pastor X. And then Jeff Pastor was out at a community event when he was running for election out at New Prospect Baptist Church. He took the stage. I saw the video somebody sent me. And this man said, I'm Pastor X and I'm running for council. Boom. It was the funniest thing I had ever seen. I'm like, he just gonna adopt it, huh? Pastor X. Listen, we got Tracy on the line. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Nathan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Doing
Man, you
great.
be killing me with
Congratulations.
this. Can you write it again? Thank you. There's really no secret, Nathan. I mean, you've been in the game just as long as I have, and I think what I pretty much wrote was stay in your lane, know your role, and see your mate as God sees them. You got to look through God's eyes sometimes, because if I would have looked through my eyes over 20 years, I might have been divorced a long time ago. You know what I mean? So I'm learning as I get older to pick my battles. You know, everything don't have to end in an argument. Sometimes you just need to sit there and be quiet and just retreat to your room or whatever you got to do. And I'm not saying that like my marriage is all bad, but you know, marriage, anybody knows that's been married any amount of times, it's filled with peaks and valleys. And you just got to take stuff as it comes. And, you know, if you have a common goal to stay married and divorce is not an option. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some deal breakers. He can't come home with a kid after 20 years and say, oh, guess what? I'm not dealing with that. But, you know, if you got that common goal, you want to be married, you want to stay married, and you're constantly willing to work at it, you'll gain another year. And that's how I've gotten to 20. That's how we've gotten to 20. So that's all it is. It's no big hidden secret, you know, but what works for me might not work for somebody else. So you just got to find what works for you. But that's how it works for us.
Sounds very real to me. Sounds very real.
Yep.
I would say the same thing. Right. It's peaks and
Yep.
valleys every day. You just make that ultimate goal commitment to one another and you make it work.
Yeah, you got to take your vows seriously. You know, I never agree with your re-up thought process, though. That's just not, that wouldn't work for me. Might work for you and yours, but it wouldn't work for me. I think if
Five-year
you just
marriage.
go in there with a common goal, yeah. If you go in there with a common goal and you don't want to, you know, get divorced, there's no reason for the re-up. So, you know, I'm not evaluating nothing this year. You know, we're not sitting at the table with a contract or, you know, our marriage license.
Right.
That's not part of the plan this
Did you
weekend.
hit
But
all
you
the
know, it is what
objectives?
it is.
So
Right.
listen,
Right.
thank you for your time. I appreciate it and wish you many more.
All right. Thanks so
Yep.
much.
Take
Y'all
it
have a
easy.
good one.
Yep. Most
Bye.
deaf. Little black love right there. 20 years. And what she said was so real, so mature. No secret. You just decide to do it. I'll be honest with you. The years just kind of creep up on you. She said, you've been in the game. She's right. I'm right behind her, 19. And everything she said, it's almost like it was coming straight out of my mouth. That's what you do. You know, you make that long-term commitment. You decide to make it work. And then when you have children just have a way. Having children is like a time machine. It really is. You will warp through time when you start having kids. You know, the process of having kids like day to day, man, it can have its up and down, its challenges. But as you go look back, like my son is 4, about to be 5. I'm gonna blink, he's gonna be 15. My daughter will be 25. It just times goes really, really, really fast, man. It really does. Don't waste the time. Tomorrow is not promised. Cam Rice, Sam Rothstein, fame, LOL. Why don't you go sit down and watch some more of your favorite model movie, Casino, where you coined your bogus name? Then he's got Punch. Okay. My husband and I had a great relationship for over 30 years until the stroke hit, changed his personality and made him mean, turned us against each other and split us up. Oh, Pam, I'm happy. I'm unhappy to hear that. Very unhappy to hear that. That's major right there. Together for 30 years. See, that's that life stuff that people don't tell you. 30 years, then medical situation happens, changes the dynamic of your relationship. That's out of your control. Cam, you go look up Arnold Rothstein. Sam is a fictional character. This is real life, he writes. Man. Wasn't that Bunky that called him Pastor X? Yes. Bunky is hilarious. He says, I named the informant Pastor X. I was going to say Bunky. It was Bunky. Yeah. I wish I could find that video and play it for you. I played it the day that I came across it. It was hilarious. They were doing like a Meet the Candidates forum, and it was very informal. Like all the candidates just got like maybe a minute, maybe 90 seconds to introduce themselves to the crowd, one after the other. Jeff Pastor got up there, boy. Woo! Telling you, Jeff Pastor grew up in the church, as I understand it. And when that man gets into the church, it comes out. He got charged up. They was playing that music. He got charged up, and he was like, yeah. You know how Jeff can start yelling. Yeah. And I'm Pastor X. And when he said that, man, I'm like, you know what? The Chop Shop has had an impact. That's all I thought. And I'm Pastor X, and I'm running for council. It was hilarious. And it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. We shall see. I mean, I would imagine Pastor X, a.k.a. Jeff Pastor. Now, why do we call him Pastor X? Because Jeff Pastor, at some point, came on the air and and referred to himself as a Malcolm X Republican. He still does. Yes, make that make sense. Malcolm X Republican. What did that mean? If Malcolm X did no longer want to identify with the Nation of Islam, what makes you think he wants to identify with the Republican Party? We had big fun with that. You know, of course, I had to challenge that. That was hilarious. I named the informant Pastor X, and now Pastor X is an informant? Really? Hey, TNT's in the house. She writes, good morning. Good to see you. Cam writes, your thought process is fictional as well, Fame. You have not passed GI yet with your monopolistic mouth. Monopolistic. I don't even know what that means. Stumped. Drop writes, Nate, your marriage re-up is a good idea only if there are no kids. No, actually, the marriage re-up idea is an excellent idea that one day will be the law. I guarantee you it's going to be the law one day. Now, it might not be in our lifetime, but at some point, just like we do with everything, people are going to start rethinking traditional norms and traditions and things like that. You name for me one tradition, one old school way of doing things that hasn't been reevaluated. Marriage is on that same conveyor belt for reevaluation. And the plan is simple. If you want a traditional marriage, you get married and you're together forever. You take your vows. You're going to be committed to ever, to death do us part. You can still do that. But if you want to do more like a plan kind of thing, like 5-year plan, 3-year plan, you can do that too. I guarantee you, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to choose that option. Don't mean you don't love God or your boo. It just means that you want to look at things a little bit more non-traditionally. There's nothing wrong with that. TNT writes, Bunky, since you named him, you are the father. That's hilarious. You are the father, Bunky, giving birth to Pastor X. Is Pastor X, have you met? Have y'all met before? Got to be a father to your kid. Got to be a father to your son. Good morning, everybody. Is anybody watching the Blackish spinoff show Mix-ish? Wait, Mixed-ish? I don't even know. I saw one spinoff they did with Blackish, and that's when the young girl was in college. I thought it was pretty dope. But I don't know what this is you're talking about, Drop. No, I haven't seen Make peace a priority in your home and you'll stay married. Right. Make peace a priority in your home and then you'll stay married. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that. 20 years. What can I add to it? I mean, so much about marriage is like everything else. Um, it's about the fundamentals. It's about that fundamental initial choice that you make. Because you can marry somebody and realize, oh, this person fundamentally is the wrong person for me. That decision to get married or not get married is so huge. Whether you want to have kids or not, but especially if you want to have children, it's life changing in every way, every aspect. Don't get married unless you're willing and you want to love someone. Don't get married just because you want to be loved. But you have to have that honest desire, I think, to love that other person, to invest in that other person. Like when you meet somebody where you're like, oh, I'll travel anywhere in the world for this person. That might be a good indication that she might be the one, fellas. But even then, you got to search your feelings, man. Search your feelings. Don't fall for the first good feeling you had. See, Team Lightston TV dead. Thanks, Jesse. Not sure what that means. Fame writes, 11 years ago, Tim Tebow gave the post-game speech that changed foreign policy. Mason Muller writes, does Pastor X still have some fathead campaign posters left? Asking for a voting friend. That's funny. Fathead campaign posters. I don't know. I'm sure he does. I'm sure they didn't destroy them. I mean, why not just put them somewhere and then pop them back out in the future if you want to run for re-election or run for city council again? I don't know. Cam, after you look up Arnold, watch the movie 8 Men Out. I'm going to fix the WS this year. Bet on the Dodgers. Heavy. Okay. Famer here dispensing his wisdom with sports investing. Love it. Wrong with that. Do I really want to read that? No, I'm not going to read that question. No, I'm not going to read that at all. All right. Before I take it, Grownish. Is it called Grownish? Yeah, is that what it was called? When the spinoff with the young girl and she's in college now? Yeah. Oh, that's a great show. Love that stuff. Great show. I just don't get a chance to watch it enough. I just don't think about it. It's not like top of mind. TNT writes, nah, Bunky. Don't be a deadbeat. Spend time with your boy. He need guidance. A lot of guidance. Yeah, Bunky. You brought him to this world, man. You are responsible for Pastor X. Take care of your son. And from what I hear, he might need some guidance right now. Reach out to your boy. Say hello. Well, I'm just joking with Jeff Pastor. I don't know, man. I mean, what do you think about Jeff Pastor? What are we now into year 2? Still think it's a little early. But what's your overall impression? Your overall impression of the brother? Do you think that he's actually a good influence on city council? Is he good for the block? Is he good for the community? Is he good for working class people? Is he good for black people? Is he good for whatever your particular interests are? You tell me. 513-873-7134. Let me move on here. So yesterday, I gave you a heads up. Don't go see the new Joker movie in any theaters because, you know, federal authorities and also U.S. military authorities have been sounding the alarm that there could be some people who are radicalized, to say the least. They might cause violence. And it has to do with the Joker character and some people that call themselves incels. And this is no joke. You go back to that Colorado shooting at the movie theater, right? The man who committed that, remember it was a Batman movie? Well, apparently he's become like a hero to these so-called incels, INCELS. And the government's been tracking these guys. That's why when we hear people like Candace Owens say things like, well, white supremacy is no problem. You really just want to tell her to shut the fuck up and go sit down. What time is it? 3 minutes? You really want to tell her shut the hell up and go sit down. It's a real issue out there. People being radicalized is a real issue. And Let's say you go to a movie theater. You go in there. I mean, being in a movie theater is such a completely defenseless situation because you're going in there relaxed. Typically, you're with family or somebody that you're interested in, or you might just be by yourself. You like to go see the movies by yourself sometime. You got your popcorn. You're trying to find a comfortable spot and kick back and see the movie. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to you, you got one of these incels who's become radicalized and all charged up over the internet. Him and three of his little blood brothers have all taken a blood oath to go kill each other or go kill a lot of people and then commit suicide. And it's your unlucky day. They choose the movie theater that you're going to go to. And before you say, oh, something like that could never happen in Hamilton County, where you been? You better look around. Shh. All I know is I'm ever in a situation like that and I'm in a movie theater, I want to be carrying. That's why I'm doing the CCW class. Our next class is October the 13th. That's the second Sunday in October. We got a couple more people who are now confirmed and registered, and it is open to you. The class is going to kick off at 8:15. It's an 8-hour affair. We'll be together there, and we'll go through the 4 hours of instruction and then 4 hours on the range. And that's the first step to becoming, being able to protect yourself and your family if there is an emergent situation. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to join a class. All you'll have to do is the total cost of it will be $90. All you have to do is to cash at me or you can PayPal me. If that doesn't work for you, then hit me with a direct message or an email. You can direct message me, of course, on Facebook, Nathan Ivey. My email is nathansflow@gmail.com. You can use that. I've got several emails, but use that one, nathansflow, nathansflow@gmail.com. And I'll make sure that we put you on the list. We do have space available. If you have a weapon, you can bring it with you so that you can practice with your own weapon. If you do, bring at least 50 rounds of ammunition because we'll all be doing 50 rounds apiece. If you don't have a weapon or a firearm, then don't worry. They will provide it for all of us. And so two things. Number one, do I really need to go to the movie theaters to see any movie, really? Let alone a movie in which credible authorities are telling me there could be a threat. I think I'm going to sit this one out. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch the Joker. I was going to say on Redbox, but that would be a lie. I'll catch it on Fire Stick. I'm Fire Stick or bust. But I'm giving you a heads up. So if that's on your radar screen, like, oh, I got to go see the new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, well, then go see the new Joker movie, but you've been warned. Just remember that. You have been warned. Crazy stuff out here, man. It really is. Crazy. 513-873-7134. I'm super late for a Blake. Oh, okay, look at me getting... Oh, okay. Okay, wifey. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let me see here. Okay. I'm getting some text messages here about a podcast I did last night. A reboot, actually. Hope you guys like it. Everything's being rebooted. Everything's coming back. So why not favor some of your favorite local talk radio hosts? Why not? Fame writes, tell him, Bunk, he wants to be cool with me, but don't realize I don't wreck with cats. I don't know. Oh, boy. He said he don't wreck with cats. He don't know. Let's see. Okay, just some back and forth between them. Drop writes, is it open mic at the comedy club on the Chop Shop? Oh, Tommy Davidson was on earlier in the show. Yes, he was. We talked to Tommy Davidson for about maybe 15 minutes earlier. And it was clear that he didn't really want to get deep into anything. It was very clear. Let me see. Fame trading baseball cards for pennies does not count as sports gambling. No, I think Fame is doing real sports gambling. Sports investing. He got out ahead of the curve. Drop writes, Nate, how big was it to have Tommy Davidson on your show? I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good, definitely. He's gonna be in town tomorrow. Okay, so keep your eyes on my stream. I may have some tickets for you. And if you go, just make sure you scream out, "I heard it on the Nathan Ivey show." Now, you don't have to really do that. But I would ask you that you take a photograph as you're in the room or something like a selfie, or maybe you're with somebody, so it's an ussie. Because when it's more than one person, it's called an ussie, not a selfie, a self picture. If it's just you, it's called a selfie. If it's you and anybody else, it's an ussie. So take a selfie or an ussie, whatever is appropriate or whatever you want to do, and just tag me with it. So I can let my friends over at Ludlow Garage know that my listeners were on site. And you can go to ludlowgarage.com and get ticket information if you want to see Tommy Davidson. Spread the word. Nate, I applaud you on the way you interview. I don't care who it is, you ask the questions that need to be asked, no matter how uncomfortable. Well, I try to. I miss questions. Sometimes people come in afterward with a question. I'm like, oh, man, that was great. But yeah, I want to talk about what's going on. I want to talk about, if I had been talking to Malik Yoba, he would have got mad at me because I would have asked him about the whole trans thing and about these allegations. What other reason would I have to talk to Malik Yoba right now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why Malik Yoba has to chill on that. Because number one, nobody asked him. He didn't have to open his mouth and say anything about what was going on in the trans world. Now, you can say it's courageous. That's one way of looking at it. Apparently, there was a trans woman that was being bullied and/or had dealt with some physical intimidation and/or was just being straight up cyberbullied. He steps in and say, hey, now, I too am attracted to trans women. Which, if you say something like that and you're a big time star or well known, in today's climate with the internet, people are going to run with it and start asking questions like, well, if you're trans attracted, then does that mean you're really attracted to men who are dressed up like women? Even though I know trans people don't look at it like that. But I'm just telling you, that's how the world looks at it. Everybody else is looking at it that way. So it's just, as soon as I think he was trying to stand up for decency. He's trying to say whether you're a trans person or not, you shouldn't be subjected to physical intimidation, which I 100% believe in. But you can't get mad when you go to the Root or the Griot or the Nathan Ivey show and they ask you about the latest controversy, because that's what's going to happen. Getting mad about that is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Let me see if I can pull this up for you because it was interesting. And I could tell they did a little bit of a bait and switch. See, some of these media companies, they don't give a damn. They don't care. They'll say, yeah, we won't talk about none of that. They'll get you in there and then talk about it. They do it all the time. Some people will check them. Remember when August Alsina, he went on 106 in Park when Bow Wow was on there and Bow Wow punked the hell out in that moment. Remember that? And he had some kind of altercation with Chris Brown or somebody. As soon as he steps out there was a young sister that was a co-host. I can't remember her name, but she had balls. And so she started asking August Alsina about the controversy. He blew up like, oh, you just gonna do that? And we just had talked about this. We just had what had happened here. We had just talked about this. And you just go ahead and, I think he said you're gonna go against the grain. And she asked the question anyway. Bow Wow stood there like a bia. Yeah, he stood like a bia and let this man get all rough with his co-host. What the hell? Y'all the co-host against y'all show. You supposed to have her back. She supposed to have your back. He just stood there like a bee. I'll never forget it. Like a Mitch. Like, damn, August, I didn't know you feel this way about it. Yeah, some of these celebrities will snap back at you, and that's what happened with Malik. Yo, let me see if I can find this for you real quick. I don't have to tell you about it. You can just hear it yourself. The interview Malik recently did on The Breakfast Club had my head hurting. Too many can't say this, that, call me this or that. Sheesh. Yeah, I caught the beginning of that, maybe like the first 5 minutes. I have not seen that whole interview on The Breakfast Club, but I do know that the other people that was with him kind of set the tone straight. They was like, look, let's be real here. I'm here at The Breakfast Club, but this space has been used to harm trans people. That's what was said. I mean, it got serious real quick. And I don't mean to harm trans people, because I'm a humanist. You know, I wish love for everybody, especially people that look like me. First and foremost, especially people that look like me. But I got love for everybody. Yeah, I don't want trans people to be abused. I don't have no interest in that. That doesn't do anything for me. None at all. Be a, that's what they call me. Bow Wow Yoba. Bunky writes, nope, not in them. Everybody can't play in between the lines. 3.5 on the school side of the game, though. My youngest, though, he's got that dog in him. Okay? Always great when you find your son has the dog in him. Fame writes, I dig it, Bunky. I ref that league, Wyoming, or in Wyoming. I'm sure I will see him. Man, that's great. It's great. Let me see if I can pull this up for you very, very quickly. I've been talking about it, but I want you to hear it for yourself here. Says, why y'all doing this? Storms off the interview after being pressed about some of the allegations that he's very trans attracted to the point where he goes too far with it. So why y'all doing me like this? We talked about this yesterday. I think this is from the Breakfast Club.
The Rumor Report.
Yeah, I don't want to get it from the Rumor Report. Let me see if I can. This is hilarious.
That you're being opportunistic. So you and I sat for 4 hours say to trans.
Sat down with the person interviewing him.
Okay, check this out.
Yes, Blogsworth. And they had a whole conversation about what was going to happen in this interview. Here's what he said.
What do you say to trans black women who say that you're centering yourself and that you're being opportunistic? So you and I sat for 4 hours the other day. Correct. And we decided how we were going to approach this. We went through a number of questions. We decided how we were going to approach this. And we said actually recording, and the more you talk, the better, the worse it looks for you. That's really what I'm saying. Yes, sir. This looks bad for me. Yes, because I'm asking a number of questions. We're done, bro. Okay.
All right. Well, it got a little worse from there as things escalated. And he just didn't appreciate the questions, I guess, that he felt like they hadn't agreed on. He wanted to talk about policy and focus on that. And I guess he had broken down what was.
Like, the nerve of Malik Yoba to bring this shit up is after 9:30 and then talking about he want to talk about policy. Like, man, it's too late. Right now, we want to talk about this trans stuff and the allegations. You brought it up. When he came out talking about how he's trans attracted, that's when the allegations came out. He opened the door for it. That's why I say he should have kept it to himself. I'm not telling you to suppress who you are. I just felt like it was a lose-lose for you, Malik Yoba. Yeah, I want to come on your show and talk about policy. No.
What's going to happen in each part of the interview, and then here's what happened with Blogsworth.
We sat for 4 hours, and you gonna stand some allegations? You. The is wrong with you? This is my life.
Can you guys not?
This is my fucking life. Where we hear that before? R. Kelly. This is my life. Tekashi 6ix9ine. This is my life. Antonio Brown. This is my life. Cosby. This is my life. Michael Jackson. This is my life. He went off, huh? I guess it's after 9:30, wherever they were recording this interview, because they can cuss there too, huh?
This is like.
That's up, man.
We have like.
The is wrong with you, man? We sat for 4 hours. All right. Don't tell me. I want the cards. You can't use any of it. There's no release signs. I want the cards out of all these cameras.
We can't give you our cards.
All right.
So he says he wants, you man, over my dead body. You know how much I paid for this SIM card? Please. That's never going to happen. I want the cards. Like if you have a digital recorder, you may have like a memory card. I want your card. Who's going to give their memory card? You ain't getting this, man. I got all kind of stuff on here. Me and my wife got stuff on here. I ain't getting this card. I got memories. Me and my kids is on here, man. That's not going to work. Did you hear the white woman? She was like, or the voice of the woman, she was like, we can't do that. It wasn't even a possibility of happening. There was no possibility. Just listen to what the conversation. Listen to her voice like, we can't do that.
You can't use any of it. There's no release signs. I want the cards out of all these cameras.
We can't give you our cards.
Yeah, we can't give you our cards. That's and all of this is because Malik Yoba opened his mouth and he never really had to. Had he never revealed that he was trans attracted and tried to get into the whole trans world and stayed in his lane, which is be Malik Yoba, just go do what Malik Yoba does. Isn't 21 Drum Street making a reboot? Go work on that, man. And now here you are months and weeks later yelling at reporters at theroot.com.
Malik Yoba, which were his 18-year-old daughter, and also his 18-year-old daughter, and the Roots senior video producer, Malik Yoba's publicist, and the Roots video producer.
It was a lot of people there. Drop writes, what does Malik think he is? Trump? Right. Somebody writes, he gets 2 snaps and a turn and a twist. Y'all so wrong for that. You're so wrong. Malik Yoba, never heard of him, hated it. Oh, boy. All bad. I like the brother, too, man. I enjoyed some of the stuff he did back in the day. I know he was on, what was that? Not Power, but what's the show with the Lion family? It's escaping me. But I know he was on that show for a while, then they killed him off or something like that. I generally have a favorable opinion of the brother. But this is just self-inflicted wounds. Self-inflicted wounds. Why are you taking on this struggle? For what? So the trans community ain't rocking with you because they feel like you're being opportunistic, trying to make yourself out to be some kind of trans hero. And then non-trans people looking at you like, well, what does that mean about your sexuality? It's crazy. All right, next, it's a Friday, so next viral video. Let me see here. 12-year-old black girl got ambushed by 3 boys who covered her mouth, grabbed her arms, and cut off her dreadlocks. Fairfax County police are investigating after a 12-year-old girl says that 3 male classmates held her down and cut her dreadlocks on the playground. Now, how can this happen? Where are the adults? Check out this news story.
Fairfax County police are investigating after a 12-year-old girl says 3 male classmates held her down and cut her hair on the playground. This reportedly happening at Emmanuel Christian School in Annandale. And Fox 5's Tisha Lewis joins us there live with this story. Tisha?
Marina, the incident, which is alarming to say the least, happened reportedly on the playground. Right there, you can see it behind us here at Emmanuel Christian School. We're told that at the time, one teacher, Marina, was supervising at least 30 5th and 6th graders. We're also told that there were no cameras pointed in the direction of this playground, so it'll be interesting to see how this investigation takes place. What we are told is that the victim was a 12-year-old African-American girl, and she says her 3 classmates jumped her. The 3 classmates are apparently Caucasian, and what she says happened next is terrifying to say the least.
3 boys came up to me, like they basically caged me in, sort of. And one of the boys put my hands behind my back, another one put their hands over my mouth so I couldn't scream or anything, and the other one kept cutting my hair. And they kept calling me names like ugly, and I shouldn't have been born, I don't deserve any of this, stuff like that.
What did they say about your hair?
They called it nappy and stuff like that.
Oh, they just...
Now, can you imagine that's your baby? Now, here's what should happen. What should happen is her cousins, her older cousins, should posse up, scope out the place. She should point them out from afar. And they should run down on them 3 boys and whoop their ass, cut their hair, maybe get some lipstick or something like that, call them and do the same shit. I believe in the reflection method. Whatever you do to me, I can do to you. Period. Whatever you do to mine, I can do to yours. That's natural law. That's what really should happen. You know, take the law out of it and let her older siblings or cousins roll down on them and whoop their ass. And if their mamas come out there and their fathers come out there, the older folks in their family should be ready out there to whoop their ass too. Right? And then we can talk about it. We can talk about the future. But first, we got to make amends. I believe her. I don't believe this young girl's just making this up for no reason. Pretty little girl as well. And I believe her. It's just probably some young white boys growing up in some toxic environments in their own homes, and they decide to come to school with that nonsense. Bullying. And I'm telling you, what should happen is her older siblings, cousins, don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody. You know, let it cool down. Let them make it that everything's cool. Let it cool down for a little while. And then she points them out like them over there. She gets it wrong. So what? And roll up on them one by one or all together and do this, cut their hair. Do the same thing. What do you think? 513-873-7134. That'll teach them. They'll never do it again in their life. But if they get away with it, if they get away with it, these young boys are going to go to college, probably separate colleges, and commit some more offenses against women because they just got away with this one. So that's why I say the way to stop this in its track and address it is old school. Go get your cousin and them. Get the older brothers, get the cousins that don't live around there and roll down on them. And she can stand there and say, this is him? Yep. And they whoop his ass, cut his hair, put their hands over his mouth, do the same thing they did to her, do it right back to them. Only with some older boys or some people on a physical level that can actually deal with them. That's some cowardice. I mean, that's the most cowardice thing that I've seen in a long time. And why are they cutting her hair? Why are they drawn to her hair, her locks? What is it about her hairstyle that they have such a problem with? It's a travesty, man. Better watch your kids. Watch your kids. Or somebody else will watch them. Watch your children or somebody else will take care of them. Have you been paying attention to any of the testimony? I know somebody made mention of it. I saw a video of what appeared to be a man of color who was also on the police force down in Dallas. I believe he was a Texas Ranger. And he talked, I'm looking at his testimony, and he starts talking about how when he walked into the room, he smelled marijuana. So what? What difference does that make? GAH writes, don't play with my children, period. Yeah, you just, and as a parent, you get your blood start boiling. Your blood starts boiling. We got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You know, daddy's willing to do jail time for their daughters and their sons. Bar none. It don't really matter what the situation is. Because you want your kids to know that I got you. No? People should be real careful with that. Real careful. What is this? Okay, here's the actual video of it. Okay. Check this out.
To kind of rally out, fill out the rest of these questions before we move forward. Since this allegation, too, if you search your name on social media, some sex workers have come forward saying that you've long solicited sex from trans women, and because of this, you've been criticizing for fetishizing trans women and not having intimate and loving relationships with them. So what would you say to that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we've gone on social media and we found people who have said this, and so
social media now is the truth. That's the
people
repository.
Who have faces, their faces on it. So we were just asking if you had anything to say about that. Okay, so going on to, what do you say to trans black women who say that you're centering yourself and that you're being opportunistic and focusing on your attraction as opposed to their issues, and without proving that you're ready to do the work So what would you say to that?
So you and I sat for 4 hours the other day.
Correct.
And we decided how we were going to approach this.
Not,
and
we went through a
decided how we were going to approach this, bro.
We went through a number of questions.
We decided how we were going to approach this.
And we're actually recording, and the more you talk, the worse it looks for you. So what I'm asking is that we're having a conversation.
What did you say?
I said the more that we're talking, the more I'm just concerned. So I'm generally concerned. I said that the more that it looks bad for you. That's what I'm saying. Yes, sir.
This looks bad for me.
Yes, because I'm asking you a number of questions.
We're done, bro.
Okay.
We're done. It looks bad for me because I chose to come here and speak to you about what you do and what I've done. It looks bad for me. It's a setup. I don't like this.
Okay.
We said that we were going to focus on policy.
And we did, and we also said,
on allegations,
and we
I
also
don't appreciate
said,
this at all.
and no, we had a conversation about a wide range of
this
things.
shit at all, homie.
Questions did feel like they
I don't. This is not. We fucking discussed for 4 fucking hours. You understand allegations, homie?
Okay.
The fuck is wrong with you?
It started to just.
The fuck is wrong with you?
There are.
We sat for 4 fucking hours. We
sat
for 4 fucking hours.
We did sit for hours.
We sat for 4 fucking hours. And you gonna stand some fucking allegations? Fuck you. The fuck is wrong with you? This is my fucking life. The fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, the video's so much better.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, man? Y'all said for 4 hours. For 4 hours. What's wrong with you? I thought it was going to square up. The way they were shifting their weight back and forth. Man, don't ask Malik Yoba. Somebody's sensitive. You're going to be sensitive about something you brought up. I know why. Now it's out of control. Now it's out of control. Now it's not what you wanted. It's not the decision. It's not going the way you thought it was going to go. So trans women, they ain't feeling them. They like, you just trying to fetishize us. You don't really know us. You just trying to screw us. You talking about you liking us. You being attracted to us is not our issue, is what they said. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Tracy writes, MFers will grow up to be the next Kavanaugh. You talking about the 3 white boys that attacked that young girl? Yep, because if they get away with this, then I'm just afraid that they go to college. They come across some co-ed in a compromised position. What they gonna do? They already got a history of getting away with this kind of stuff. LGBTQ got all the good gay people. That's from Drop. Thank you for that, Drop. Drop writes, the root is trans hustling. Tracy writes, those 3 white boys will be the same kids in high school and college hazing a black boy who wants to be in band or some ish. Bunky writes, those boys need to be dealt with. They do. Let the cousins of that young girl catch up with them. And she can point him out. It was him. Was he there too? Yo, he was there too. I don't even know you. Yes, you did. Go through all that stuff. And at the end of it, they open up a can of whoop ass. They should cut their hair, cut bald spots into their hair. Take lipstick, smear it all over their face. Just whatever, disrespect them in a whatever manner. Because that's what they did to her. Put their hands over their mouth, make them feel, make this young girl, that might cause PTSD. Like, we're all thinking, well, all she did was cut her hair, right? Woo. They didn't kill her, they didn't cut her, they didn't rape her. But that doesn't mean she's not dealing with PTSD. You walk in, and what kind of school has a 30-to-1 ratio? That's a horrible ratio. 1 teacher per 30 5th and 6th graders on a playground. You don't have no control. Those kids have already scoped out the sight lines. Those kids know that park better than anybody at the park, in the school. Those kids know the sight lines, the hiding places, little cubby holes, nooks and crannies, right? Probably better than the person that maintains the yard and get paid to do it. And they don't have any cameras that was facing that way. You mean on the playground? Like, damn, let me think. I got an idea. Maybe maybe we should have cameras focused to where the kids are if they're on a playground, because things can happen, like accidents, all kinds of things that happen. Like, the very least, not to say any kind of harassment, you can have an accident. You can have a straight up accident. You got no record of it whatsoever, and one person out there. So that's a recipe for disaster right there. Kids are smart. They're like, oh, we got the yard. Let's make a move. When you're teaching your kids to harm ours, it's war. Somebody writes, who called the media? Tracy writes, I would have slayed everybody in that damn school. See, that's what you want to do. Want to go up there and just wreck shop, but you can't do that. That's why I say that's what cousins are for. Cousins, out of district cousins. Get some of your out of district cousins or out of town cousins to come down, scope out the block, see if we can run up on them. You know what I'm saying? And when you find them, then you do it old school. And guess what'll happen? Those boys will never touch another person, because now they'll feel as if we do, then something might happen to us. At least that's how I look at it. Malik Yoba dug a Grand Canyon hole and stepped in it. Yes, he did. Mason Marler writes, I would catch my first case for my kids. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I know how you feel. 100%. I read, oh man, I'm so happy that Jay-Z is now partnering with the NFL, because I read that they've got an incredible halftime show. J-Lo, Jenny from the Block, is going to be performing at the halftime of the Super Bowl, everybody. Aren't you happy? Way to go, Jay-Z. Jay-Z got Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. They're both going to perform at the halftime of the Super Bowl. And I guess this is what we get for that new partnership. Hip, hip, hooray, because we could have got, I don't know who would have been the next run down. I don't know. Man, we could have got EPMD. Oh, man, this is great. Jay-Z is working. Social justice is working. We're getting a better halftime show. Just what everybody wanted, right? Tony writes, that's exactly what I was thinking, Nate. That's how we would have handled it back in the day. We black folks, we got cousins. We wouldn't have waited a month, scope their routine, meet up with them after school, whoop that ass, and if their moms and dads get involved, get Aunt Gina and Uncle Kenny and his people on. Yep, that's what it would have happened. Everybody knows that's what would happen. That's what should happen here. We got you, sis. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I don't know. I've never done anything like that. You know, even when I was a kid, you know, when you're a kid, you're more of a follower sometimes, and sometimes you can get caught up with the group thing. My group didn't do no shit like that. That just wasn't what we was about. Cut her hair. They could have killed that girl. They could have killed her. What if they choked her out? What if they decided to sexually assault her? What would have happened? Who would have saw it? Nothing. That's what would have happened. Absolutely nothing. Listen, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Make sure you tune back in. Tune back in this later on today at 12:30, because we'll be doing another episode of the Is It Just Me podcast. And hold on real quick. I want to post a link inside the Chop Shop so that you can find and subscribe to the Is It Just Me podcast. Also, you can subscribe to the Truth to Power podcast. Shout out to the Cincinnati NAACP at their Freedom Fund dinner going on this weekend. I will be in the house with the lovely wifey. I may post some pictures, let you know who's in the room, give you some insight. Looking forward to it. But I want to post this link here so you can directly subscribe on Spreaker to any of the shows that Sin Digital Media is working on. Let's see here. All right, got it. We're gonna copy that. Boom. And I want to post this in the Chop Shop. So again, you can follow this link and subscribe so that when Donnie B goes later, when she goes live, you will get a notification, just like you sometimes get with the Nathan Ivey Show. I know it's supposed to be more consistent than that, but Spreaker is not consistent in that manner. But thank you for being here. I'll be back. I'll be back with you on Monday morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. Monday morning, bright and early, and we'll chop it up on everything that happened over the weekend. I'll tell you what happened at the Freedom Fund dinner. I'm trying to think what else is going on this weekend. I'm not planning on going down to the chicken wing contest or the chicken wing festival. I'm not totally against it, but I've got other plans on Saturday. Also, keep your ears open for a few more episodes of podcasts that we're working on, including some brand new podcasts with some brand new voices here in the city of Cincinnati. Looking forward to getting your thoughts about everything. Also, have a great weekend. Don't listen, be selfish. That's right. I'm telling you to be selfish this weekend. Take some time for yourself. Say no. Recharge, right? Get yourself back to 100% on Monday morning, and we'll chop it up. So have an excellent day, choppers. My name is Nathan Ivy, and I'm out. Take it easy.